Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Now that nighttime/K/ is here, time for a good old-fashioned Innawoods story thread. Anything and everything. Cool stuff, sad stuff, spooky stuff, and skinwalker stuff. I'll start off. Nothing all that interesting or entertaining, but at least it's true. Out hiking in the backcountry in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Packing all of my milsurp shit because I'm a turbo artist. Also carrying my rifle because I'm hunting for rabbits or coyotes or whatever. Notice the thunderclouds rolling in. Put on my poncho and keep hiking. I'm still about 3 miles off from the spot I want to pitch my tent for the night. Come across 2 girls and a guy. Not going to badmouth them, but they were clearly gentrified hipster types out for a stroll with their expensive normie shit. Blow out soon, Stalker. What? Do quidania. Next morning, making breakfast when the CO comes out of the tree line. Comes over and asks what I'm doing, etc. Well, we got some reports that there was a Russian guy harassing hikers on the trail. A group of folks claim he made a threat about blowing them away with his gun. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you, son? Have to spend the next 20 minutes trying to explain Stalker to a 60-year-old conservation officer.
Apparently I'm literal Cougar Bait. Experience 1. Riding in my buddy's beat-up Volvo. Going to Hot Springs to meet some friends deep in the canyon. His girl is driving while him and I pre-game. To him and I, obvious giant rock in the road is obvious. Not obvious enough as his sober girl runs right into it and pops a tire. We call ahead to get someone sober enough to come down and drive us the rest of the way or out, and we'll pick up the Volvo tomorrow. True to shitty Volvo expectations, there is a spare. But no jack or wrench. Now we wait. This is bad. It's dusk, and we're in a pullout dug into the side of a cliff with a sheer drop on the other side. The whole time we're standing outside of the car, I was half cognizant of some rustling coming from a few yards up the mountain. Now a couple rolling pebbles makes me look up. Against the sunset, I can make out the black silhouette of a large cat body as its back undulates against the skyline. It stops when it sees that I'm looking. Run application. Get -in the fucking car.bat. Us freaking out must have scared it because it didn't bother us again until our ride showed up. Cougar Hendrix experience numero dos. Same melon farmers, same canyon. Miles farther up, at the feet of the snow caps. Down a ravine on the shore of a dam that collects the snow melt. We hiked all day to get down the ravine by the shore of the reservoir, where we can start a fire so forest rangers wouldn't see. Shore is pretty wooded, but we find a clearing that obscures our fire. Set up tent and camp, tell stories, drink, and bullshit. Friend and I are buzzed but still fully awake and aware. His girl turns in early. We drink talk shit and tend the fire. Friend is talking to me, glances over my shoulder and goes silent. Says, eyes, really low. Whip around real quick, make out the iridescent green of cats, eyes reflecting the fire at the edge of the clearing. Eyes turn and glint is gone, still silent. Buddy and I put our backs to the fire and heaved every rock and half-finished beer at the spot where we saw the eyes. Hear thrashing lessening in volume as it gets away from camp. Sober now. Stay up all night with friend drinking, minding camp. Hours later, hear thrashing in the distance and anguished screeches of something dying far off. His girl pops out of the tent around dawn. You guys look haggard. Both just glare at her. Third murder cat experience. Fun fact, they can meow. Not so fun fact, they're called Rocky Mountain Screamers for a reason. 2 years after that night by the reservoir, a different friend and I got hardcore about hiking and mountaineering. We decide to hike to a peak a few miles southeast of the canyon. Overnight on the peak and take a breezy, sheltered trail that intersects some springs and connects with the canyon, where we'll get a ride back to town. We were a little optimistic about our ability to get to the peak under 80-pound packs by 3, with plenty of time to make camp and cook before night. Shit was grueling. 100-degree temps, steep switchbacks cut into the side of the mountain, narrow enough to put one foot in front of the other, but not enough width to put your feet together. Luckily, we brought a camelback full of vodka and one full of water. We got to the peak around dusk, right when all my blisters popped and filled my boots with water. We made a quick fire, ate some hot dogs on a stick and sipped vodka. There was no shelter from the wind. It was cold, and you could just make out a field of mountaintops in the distance in the waning crescent. We had sleeping bags only. Homie was out as soon as he slid into his bag. Me too, pretty much. Something woke me. A few hours later. Listen, without moving. Sounds like dog lapping water. Close. Really close. Slowly moved the opening of the bag overhead. Dark cat figure crouched over our hot dog sticks, lapping at them facing me. Notices me sorta. Knows something moved and waits for more movement. Heart jackhammering in my chest. Dare not move. Could not move. The food pack is on the other side of the camp and decides it's more interested in that than me after a second. Slowly put the bag overhead, listen and wait for claws. Never heard it leave. Made peace with death and passed out. Homeboy didn't hear or see shit. Luckily, the pack was destroyed to back up the story.
I can't write for shit, so I'll Greentext it. Late summer 2012, Central Maine. Be 19. Be no guns because poor. Live in a woods with mom because poor. Take Bo out on a hike with me one day. Start hiking north for a long time. Come upon a hill and start walking along the bottom of the hill going east. Notice a big cat thing walking on the exact top of the hill. Holy shit, it's a bobcat. Wow. Keep walking along the bottom of the hill while watching the bobcat walk on top of the hill through the trees, always parallel to me. Thinking about how cool it is that I get to see a bobcat since they never come down this far south. Wait. Hey, wait, yeah. They never come down this far south, that's weird. I stop walking and look back up to the ridge. Bobcat sees me stop and it stops too. I realize it was not walking along the ridge parallel to me by chance, it was stalking me. It starts to walk down the hill to me through the trees. I yank my bow off my back and hastily knock an arrow, because what else can I do? The bobcat gets closer and closer to the bottom of the hill, almost to the flat ground I am on. I am shaking and sweating like a pig. It reaches the bottom of the hill and instantly charges at me. The sudden movement scares me, and I accidentally lose the arrow I had knocked. The arrow catches the bobcat in the back right upper leg, and the bobcat makes a wow-wower noise and runs off to its left. I circle to my left and knock another arrow. It stays in place, shaking and growling a few yards away. I aim at it. It runs at me again. I fire. Arrow sinks into its chest, and it falls down instantly. I just stand there unmoving for a bit. Finally calm down enough to move, so I sit down. Think about how I almost just died, and the only reason I didn't just die was because I accidentally fired the first time when its sudden charge scared me. Take arrows out of it and hike back home. Mom didn't believe me.
Be me a corpsman with 5th Battalion 11th Marines. On a field op in Pendleton, obviously. Pulling watch at night with the platoon leader in the Fire Direction Center. Platoon leader is a Mustang, pretty cool dude, and old school infantryman before becoming officer and going arty. Platoon leader says if I can score a rifle from 2nd Platoon and bring it back to Fire Direction Center, he'll buy me a 6-pack of whatever. I ask him what I get if I bring him back a 240 or SAW. He says he'll get me a bottle of whatever I want. Watch ends. It is fucking on .jpg. Pitch black night with no moon. So nods aren't really useful. Plus my eyes have adjusted to the darkness anyway. I know where the 2nd Platoon is, and the light from inside their FDC is easy to spot. Casually walk over to 2nd Platoon vehicle, talk to guy on watch behind gun in the Humvee. Move on to the next vehicle. Get to the next vehicle. Hear heavy breathing. Ask guys what's up. No reply. Hop up on a Humvee and see the gunner is asleep but over the butt of the 240. Fuck it. .jpg. Remove barrel from 240. Just then, I hear a voice behind me. Can't sleep either. Huh, Lance Corporal? Recognize the voice of the 2nd Platoon's platoon sergeant. Yeah, just one of those nights, Staff Sergeant. Well, try to get some sleep. We're moving early in the morning. Aye, Staff Sergeant. Somehow doesn't recognize me and my voice, even though I'm also the senior line corpsman and know all platoon leaders and platoon sergeants well. Finish taking the barrel off the 240 without waking up the gunner and anyone else in the Humvee. Sneaking by 2nd Platoon FDC, see 3 guys passed out in soft top Humvee with all their rifles in the only open back seat. Mine now. WebM. Grab 1 rifle. Make it back to my FDC where the platoon leader is sitting waiting. Sees me come in with a 240 barrel and an M16. LOLWUT.PNG. What do I get for these, sir? Whatever you want, Doc. Platoon leader's face when. Laugh about it for a minute and regale about how I almost got caught. 30 minutes or so goes by. Guy from 2nd Platoon comes into FDC freaking out. Has anyone seen someone walking back with an M16 or 240 barrel? Hide them behind me and tell him no. Realize the 1st sergeant might find out. Marine from the 2nd Platoon leaves. Oh shit, sir, this might get back to 1st sergeant. Then bring that shit back, Doc. Sneak back to 2nd Platoon guys in soft top Humvee not in the vehicle. Leave the rifle and barrel in the back of their Humvee. Get back to my platoon. The platoon leader is on the radio with someone. Head back to my Vic. Laugh to myself, then fall asleep. Word never got back to 1st Sergeant, but the guys in the soft top Humvee were confused as to why the barrel was in their Vic along with their missing rifle.
Go out for a little walk on some public hunting land a mile away from my house. Bring G20 because bears. Wear an old flannel shirt because bugs. Almost to the end of the trail. Hear voices. Assume it's kids on the property next to where I am just being loud. Get into a marshy area with a creek running through it. They're calling out someone's name. Listen from beside the creek for a bit. Contemplate whether or not I should yell, "Get out of my swamp," or "I killed him." The kid they're looking for walks out behind me. Say, "You must be who they're looking for." He says, "Yep." They come around the bend in the river. These people are actually walking in it for some reason. I'm standing in tall grass and on the other side of a tree. They get onto shore. The youngest one, who looked to be around 10, looks at me around the tree, like he isn't sure if I'm real or not. turn around and walk out without saying a word. Hope the other people thought the two who saw me were crazy for telling them that some guy with a gun was standing behind them. Goddamn normies. My car was the only one in the parking area, too. I have no idea where they came from.
Dumb 16 going on 17-year-old. Boy Scout. Living in Alaska. Get invited on a hike adventure. Am a dumbass. Do none of the physical conditioning beforehand. Do like one of the lead-up trips. Don't read the trip itinerary. Don't know what we're doing or how far we're going. Pack like I'm going to summer camp. Bring like a week's worth of clothes. Bring all this extra survival gear I don't need, and that would have been useless anyway. Read enough about where we are going to pack goggles, face mask, and rain gear the night before. Still don't really understand what's about to happen. Wake up. Fly out to town in the sticks. Fly from sticks to some kind of remote wilderness shack. Oh, it's a neat little nature resort. Spend one night there. Wake up next day, get on some kind of monster truck modded bus and drive out to the actual place we're going. Looks like nice enough terrain. Lots of trees and shrubs and stuff. Not sure why they had me pack these desert goggles. Cross through vegetation. Goes on for about 1/4 to 1/2 mile. Cross small stream. Things get kinda gravelly. Have to ford a bigger stream, knee-deep rapids. Cross up the other bank of the stream. Oh shit, Wafum GBBQ. Nothing but sandy, hellish desert as far as I can see, unless it's the mountains of Mordor off in the distance, or on either side of me. Keep going along a flat, sandy plain for a while, before we come to a river canyon. To your left for at least 1/3 of the trek is this river that will just straight up kill you if you fall in. It's 40 feet deep and has 10 feet sheer rock walls on both sides, at the highest point and lowest depth. At the part where you can first see it is its natural end, which is a waterfall. Also its rapids, and made of freezing snowmelt. The ground naturally slopes in towards it. I have a 60-pound ruck. I didn't pack any water because I thought we were just doing short day hikes. Turns out the total trip was around 12 miles in 4 to 5 hours. The last 2 miles are literally mud and ice mixed together by snowmelt. There are little trenches cut into the ground that go knee-deep, but they're narrow, and it's easy to get stuck in them. Ask me how I know .jpg. We almost lost a kid because he lost his balance because of his ruck while traversing a snowmelt wadi, and he can't get traction on the loose sand. He nearly loses his ruck trying to get out alive, and there was really nothing most of us could do except watch. We finally get there and make camp. By make camp, I mean, I put my ruck on the side of me facing the wind and laid down on the ground and blacked out for 15 minutes or so. Realize it's getting really windy. Little flecks of sand and shit start kicking up in my face, sharp chunks of pumice everywhere. Sigh and put on goggles and rain jacket. Find way to tent. Windy bullshit. It is so windy and rainy for the next 12 hours that no one even leaves their tent. Everything is kind of a blur of me sleeping for most of that 12 hours because I was so exhausted and dehydrated. But I remember that I woke up and someone gave me snacks. Wake up for real next morning. People are trying to erect a cooking tent. It's working like a sailboat. Keeps collapsing or nearly getting blown away. No one can keep the stoves alight in the open air. Fuck this, why are you all idiots? Dig a trench. Put up a rock wall from loose stones laying around camp in front of it. Some other jerk off who does stupid shit later. I'll talk about tries to take credit for it and succeeds. But I get the last laugh. All we have for a shovel is a shit shovel. It's a bright orange garden trowel. Go to the edge of camp. Find a good spot. Spend most of the next 6 days making a cozy foxhole. Everyone loves it because I eventually end up with a 6x8 hole with a 5-foot windbreak on it. Comfiest time of my life. Sitting in a foxhole I dug with a shit shovel eating sandy freeze-dried mountain house. This is a bit out of order because it's very much all a blurry memory for me, even though it wasn't that long ago. Probably because of what was about to happen. Some adult leader decides that, damn it, the trip itinerary said day hikes. Never mind that the weather has been terrible. And this is the first time in 36 hours the wind has died down, and it's not raining or hailing, and everyone is still exhausted and shit. We're gonna cross the valley and go over the river. That scary river that I mentioned earlier, the very deadly one. And then climb Mount Baker, a glorified pile of sand, except it's actually the size of a mountain. Starts drizzling as we go across. I didn't want to do this. I just wanted to stay in my comfy little hole. This was a bad idea, but no one listened. The spot where we would normally cross is just gone because the erosion here is crazy. Some dumbass, take a guess who, suggests we jump. Another older scout starts saying we're cowards for not trying to jump this 8-foot wide river that will kill us if we miss while wearing packs. There are slick, wet rocks and ice on both sides to hold on to. Someone finds a snow bridge slightly further down the river and is over it before anyone can say. Maybe we shouldn't cross an ice bridge in a rainstorm in the middle of summer over a rapids without a safety line. Welp, we go across one at a time. Climb Mount Baker. Halfway up is a USGS cabin. I hang out there because I have no intention of going up to the top in the now renewed windstorm. No way, Jose. Wind is gusting up to 50 at least. Have to lean into the wind to walk out to the outhouse. The party that went up to the top comes back missing some hats and gloves and shit because it was just straight blown off their bodies. We start hiking back to base camp. Rain picks up. The ice bridge is visibly shrunken. Welp. Cross back over. About 400 yards from the edge of base camp, I hear this noise. I turn and look down the valley. Watt.png. There's a giant black wall. Literally, half the valley is gone and there's just this flat black wall. It is visibly moving towards me. See lightning arcing up in the very top tips of it. Realize it's a wall of storm clouds, sand, and fog coming at me at 60 miles per hour minimum. Start hauling ass. About 60 yards from the edge of camp, it hits me. I can't see shit. Visibility reduced to 20 feet tops. I am wearing goggles. It's like being in a sandstorm. I find my way back to my tent. The position of our base camp means it's actually fairly clear of this shit relative to the valley proper. Climb into my tent, spend the rest of the trip either in my tent, my foxhole, or exploring closely around base camp. Trip ends. I actually don't want to leave. This is the most at home I have ever felt anywhere. I can't explain why, and I still don't get it. I still want to go back. We hike back to the larger stream we crossed on the first day, camp for the night, wake up, hike back to meet the bus further up the road, eat lunch, then go back to the main area. Hang out there for a day or two, get on a plane and start flying back to small town. Eat breakfast at a restaurant there, get on a big plane home, go home. I still want to go back. Valley of 10,000 Smokes, near Katmai, Alaska.
Be me live in Alberta, 3-day camping and fishing trip on Crown land in the foothills. Me, my girlfriend, another couple and dog. First night coyotes all around camp, yipping and howling, freaking the dog out. Day 2, the dog is alert and whimpering the whole day, barking into the trees. Assume it's yotes again. Carry on having fun. Watch a bald eagle catch a fish out of the river. Fucking cool. Heading back to camp after a hike/swim. Notice bear tracks and shit. Not far from camp. Only 122 LR between us and now fish. Every time the dog barks, now we're all freaked out a little. Bushes rustle. No sleep that night. Day 3, see more signs of bear. And also spot a bull moose near our camp. Head home on the last day, totally fine. Grizzlies are scary. So are moose. But camping is too damn comfy. Should have had a bigger gun. Also now I always have bear spray.
Okay, people. Figured I may as well post up mine. I wish this was fiction. Be Innawoods, somewhere near Cali Desert, middle of nowhere, hiking, camping with only gun, old but well-treated 43 Nugget. Wake up on day 2, shave clean, end up in probably only woods brush for 10 miles. Realize between hair, baggy clothes, clean-shaven eye shape and color, I look like a female from a distance. Suddenly cabin. 2 or 3 desert rats, both in weird-ass robes. Notice double circle pentagram on one. Oh fuck. .jpg, fire warning shot. It hits the window, recock rifle, in process get tackled by both. Feel clothes getting torn at. Aw shit, it's a dude. He will do. Notice the rope out of the corner of eye. Oh fuck, no. Overpowered, end up tied up, manage to dig a crappy little folding knife from pocket, start cutting at ropes, immensely grateful they were too broke for handcuffs. What are we doing with this one? Well, the only thing guys are good for is the stakes. Oh fuck this .jpg. Lose my shit, slice rope off at expense of cutting up my arm a little, punch one, other one freaks and is not sure how to react for a moment. Sprint outside with fucker close behind, grab the rifle, tell him to back off. He pulls knife and moves closer, aligns sight posts on center mass and fires. Goes down and doesn't get back up, beelines it back to my SUV and goes home. Anon, how was your hike and what happened? Too many things. Barricade myself in the bedroom and bathroom for 2 days with vodka. 3 months later, post this here where I think that this is perfectly fitting.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.